Sit. Good. When I'm putting her in the crate, I always have her sit first and wait, just like the mat. She loves her crate. Dogs like Lello love crates because they love to isolate. So since we developed the crate as their den, it's perfect because it's a way of controlling her, also a place she loves to go. And if you control the boundary, you control her access in and out, it's a tool for training. So normally I wouldn't stay here this long like this, but notice how the leash is always loose. I'm never restraining her. She's choosing to wait in sit stays and down stays. And what she's waiting for here is for me to pat her chest and say, go, one in. Very good. She's never done this, gone into the crate out in the yard before. I just pulled the crate out in the yard because our house is really full right now. Good girl. And it's easier to explain it and film it out here. So that's why we're doing it. But this is what we're doing in the house with her every day. She went in and out of the crate 5-6 times a day. She'd walk through the house on a leash. We'd have her sit at the doorway, walk her through the doorway, have her sit on the porch, release her to be free. She'd run around the yard, be free for a while, call her back to come, have her sit at the doorway, walk through the house, sit in front of the crate just like this, go into the crate. That was her routine. In and out, in and out, in and out. It's a lot of structure. It takes you all of 30 seconds to do each time, so it doesn't take much time for you to do it. But for the dog, it's huge because she needs that kind of structure. Every time that you have her sit and wait at the doorway before you release her out is a little mini 10-second training period. When you have her sit and wait to go into the crate, it's just a little period of learning, and all these add up throughout the day. In total, it's like 3 or 4 minutes for you. But for her, since it's little learning periods throughout the day, it's really effective because that's how they learn the quickest. You just practice with them little tiny periods throughout the day. And you would have to handle her anyway. You'd have to take her in and out anyway, so why not do it in a more focused, structured way that is training for her. So I take off her we have this little mini prong collar, and we have a choke chain on her when she's out being trained. And I'll explain that why in a second. But she won't come out until she's allowed to come out. And if she waits, you give her a reward. Good. And if she doesn't wait, if she tries to come out, you'd say no. Give that a little slam like that. She knows what that means, and she'll back off and she'll wait. So when she's in the crate, or actually, yeah, when I put her in the crate, I take off her equipment. And I just want to explain that stuff really quickly right now. The equipment, we're using a tiny prong collar, which is just to help you and her learn how to not pull. And you'll see throughout the video, on the leash walking part of the video, how I use this. But you notice throughout the video, there's never any tension on the leash. So these prong collars, this is a very well-made German brand that you need to always have this kind. It's called Springer, because the cheaper kind are cheap and they may be sharp and they break. So we used a really good quality little prong collar. It's all about being able to do a very slight little signal if she's going ahead too fast or something like that, so that she gets the signal to slow down without you having to struggle with her, without her pulling. She came with a chain around her neck from somebody else, put a chain on her. That would be very damaging, because every time you pull on that chain, all the pressure's right there. It's just it was a chain. So we don't use those. Those are very old-fashioned. The prong collar, although it may look scary, it closes with the same pressure on the back of the neck as the front. And when the leash is loose, it's loose as well. Although it's lightly touching all the way around. So when you do a little prompt, like a little pop like that, she feels it all the way around. It's a signal to slow down if she's gotten too far ahead or whatever it is. And that's all you need. It's very, it's easy for anybody to do, and it's very gentle with her, and it's safe for her. So that's the way this works. That's why we use these. The choke chain that we also double up on is always hanging loose. It's only around her neck. Just in case this prong collar ever comes out, it's off, especially if you're in public, then this takes up the slack and you don't lose the dog. So we attach the leash to the prong collar, to the funny looking buckle. It's the funny looking buckle on the prong collar you hook it up to. The little round spacer, the round little disc there is just a spacer. You don't hook it up to that. It needs to look like that, and that goes around her neck like that. And then you also are going to be hooked up to the choke chain. So if this prong collar ever comes off, the choke chain comes into play, and you can never possibly ever lose her. That's why we use it. So when I'm going to, and when she's in there, I just hang this up here, and then you can put the leash and the choke chain wherever you want. And when I'm going to take her out, we do this every time. We open the door, of course. She waits. If she tries to come out, you say no. Give it a little token slam like that. She waits. Put your hand through the choke chain like this. She'll take her little treat there, and you can slip the choke chain over her head. And then you take the prong collar, hook it up to the leash, make sure it's not twisted. Take it like this, just reach in, hook her up. She's very calm. She'll wait there and let you do all of that. And also make sure that the leash is also hooked to the choke chain like that. That whole process took all of probably 20 seconds. See how she's waiting? She knows that she needs your permission to come out of the crate. So, pat your leg and you say, okay. And she'll come out. Good girl. Do a little left turn here. If you're in your house, wherever you have her, you just do a little left turn, come back, close that door, because the whole power of the crate routine is you controlling the boundary. So when she's in, the door's closed, and when she's out, the door's closed. Also, because of the issues that you were having with her before, it's a perfect place for her to chill out in the house. If you're having guests come to the ranch and you don't want her out in her outside area, she can easily be in there for 3 hours during the day, or she can be in there for an hour or hour and a half when the people come in. Then when they go somewhere else, she can be out, and then you put her back in for a couple hours or whatever. It's a very simple way to manage the dog. She gets all her bones and chewies and her favorite things in there. She loves frozen peanut butter bones that we have here, and all kinds of other things that she loves to chew on. So everything good happens in the crate. You feed her in the crate. She loves the crate. Of course, you never have her in there for 10 hours or whatever at a time. It's not supposed to be used that way. It's just a way to manage her, and also it's a tool for training. And she can sleep overnight in the crate. She's used to that here. We just make sure she goes out to the bathroom right before bedtime every night, and then right first thing in the morning she comes out and she goes to the bathroom and she's fine. And then throughout the day, if you need to put her in the crate for periods of time, that's fine as well too. And none of this is forever, so if you just adhere to this structure, the structured routine that she's learned here for like the next 3 months after you have her back home, she'll never go back to the way she used to be, and she'll be a lot easier to handle. So this whole routine, everything you're seeing on the video, is only temporary till you get a handle on her behavior. All this behavior she's learned here is set in stone, and then then you can loosen up and not do a lot of the things because you won't need to anymore. Okay.